Quincy, I appreciate you hopping on here. For everybody watching and listening, could you give some background on your business and what you got going on?
Yeah, owner of Q-Time Basketball. Um, working with kids from, age kindergarten, pretty much as long as they can shoot the ball up to the basket, through, college level, NBA level, whatever, we train whoever. And we started the business in 2019.
Got you. And you're in Seattle area, right?
Yeah, Seattle, Washington. Yeah, Seattle area. I train all over the state. I'm pretty mobile. Like I have a couple of gyms in Auburn, Washington, and but I travel all around the state.
Got you. And dude, so one thing that's kind of different about you is you had some experience with Facebook ads prior to us working together. Could you kind of briefly describe like what kind of success you had with Facebook ads, or just like your understanding before we started working together?
Well, I had an understanding of it. A couple of my actually closest friends were doing some stuff on there, doing ads on there. So that's kind of how I got started on it. Before I was just boosting posts, not really knowing what I was doing, just putting that money in there and wasting it. Then I got turned on to the Facebook business ads, and just figuring out how to make the ads and what worked. And like I said, it was weird, man, because I was dumping a lot of money into it, and wasn't getting the results. And then like when they changed that whole iOS thing, it just got weird, and so it seemed like it cost more, but like I was gauging what they said that I would get for the leads, so I had to up the money, to spend in, $50, $60 a day, on Facebook ads. So I knew like the template of it. I knew like how it worked, but I didn't know as far as, I thought you had to just keep, dumping money on it and you get more leads that way. And then it wasn't really happening like that.
Yeah. I think it's funny how Facebook will like almost deliberately like mess you up when it comes to like, how in the suggestions in the recommended, it's like, with what you're doing now, you'll get 5 leads, or like this campaign leads, and then it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And so one thing that like really stands out to me is just once we started working together and we were starting to bring these leads in, you were just closing them at a super high rate. So obviously with our process, the leads are coming in, they're going into our CRM, they're getting these automated messages, and then you step in and you were just able to get a lot of them on the phone. And then once you got them on the phone, they were getting in the gym. And then once they're in the gym, you're getting them signed up monthly. So could you kind of take me through like that process and what you think allowed you to have a lot of success in that?
Yeah, man, I think it was, I know it was just working at a car dealership and knowing how to use a CRM and knowing how to talk to people. And it's all sales, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's all sales. So I had some experience in that for just, selling cars, and, I've always had to sell myself. And I've always been like a, entrepreneur, even when I was little, from hustling gum at school when gum wasn't allowed, you know what I mean? So it's like, just that kind of taught me, but the dealership kind of taught me how to, deal with people and just how to work with people and try to help them, because at the end of the day, you're not trying to you're not tricking them, you know what I mean? You're not trying to trick them into buying the product or whatever you're selling. You just selling yourself, and it's a real thing, you know what I mean? And you're really trying to help. And so once people say that you're genuine and that you're really trying to help their son or their daughter or grandkid or whoever, then they're like, and they see that you're talking to what you know what you're talking about, then it's easy after that.
Right. Yeah. And so when you got people on the phone, how would you go about, like, first of all, starting the conversation, seeing that they're a good fit, And then once you kind of gather information and get their current situation, how are you like transitioning to that sales conversation and what you have to offer?
Well, the I stay away from, the price is all, price is always last. I mean, they want to know the price, and I don't mind giving it to them, but I want to talk. I'm interested in knowing about, the kid, and talking about a little bit what we do. And like I said, everybody's gonna want to know the price, and that's fine. But I like to get more information first. What their kid is, he or she doing, and strengths and weaknesses, learning more about their school, education, what grade, right-handed or left-handed, what position. So I like to get my own little analysis of the kid and fill out, the parent, and just let them know and see if the program is for them, what I mean, is what they're looking for. And I always tell them, like, I'm not the cheapest trainer out there. I mean, I can give you some good recommendations. If it doesn't work out, we can still part ways as friends. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, what I do here, what we do at Q Time is, we like to say that we're the best. So
Yeah.
as far as response time, as far as training, as far as guaranteeing results, and that's another thing, is like responding quick. You get a lead, you got to respond fast. When people,
Yeah.
if I'm looking for something online, I basically do it how I look. And so if I look for something online, if I'm trying to buy something and I go to a website and I put my information in, I expect to call immediately. If I don't, I'm still looking for stuff. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And if they say, "Oh, I can't talk, it's Friday, get with me on Monday," then I'm not gonna mess with you. I'm gonna mess with somebody I'm just in the now.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are in the now. So when they respond, when they reach out to you, you need to call them immediately.
Right. Yeah, I think that's such a huge aspect to it, and part of the reason that you had so much success, because like that's when they're the warmest. That's when they like just saw it. It's fresh in their mind, and you would even beat the automated messages sometimes. Like
Yeah.
we would come in and you give them a call right away, and boom, they're in the gym. Um, how do you think just like the way the way we had that process set up? Um, and then once you have them in the gym, what were you doing there to like really just first of all kind of evaluate them, make sure they're a good fit, and then get them signed up on your monthly options?
hmm Well, first, I'll say that the way that you guys had it set up was pretty cool, because like nobody else is really setting it up like that. If they are, then it's really, I mean, you really gotta pay, for that. As far as the sales funnel, and automations and stuff like that that help you out, along the way. Just because sometimes you can't get back to them right at that time, but you at least want to be able to kick something out and say, "Hey, this is, I'll get right back to you," or, "Hey, how can I help you?" So that was a great thing that really helped me out. And then once they get to the gym, though, it's like it's like that is, like the sanctuary. That's like where, like, you're not gonna, when you see what we do, you're gonna be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Once you get to the gym, it's pretty much over, because we put so much into it. We study, I mean, everything. I write up the session so it goes smoothly. So that's another thing. I go to the gym with a plan. So we go from here to there to there, and it's all written out well. So it just works, man. I never had somebody come to the gym ever and work out and be like, "Oh, this ain't for us." You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They're like, "Oh, okay, either this is great, what we're looking for, or man, I'm signing up right now." Like there's never been like, this isn't, as good as I thought it would be,
Right.
because I mean, we go all out every time. You know what I mean? And that's just not for one session, that's for the whole session. Like I compete with myself on trying to help the kids, and letting them know, like, this is the best that you're going to get. So I'm competing with myself at every training.
Hmm. Yeah. And then you did a really good job of like also with your pricing and packaging, getting them signed up to where it's not just come in once a week, and like you got them signed up monthly for that
Yeah,
3 month program. Um,
yeah,
and obviously that makes the Facebook ads work better, because then one lead, instead of being worth maybe $200, it's worth that $600 package that you had.
Yeah.
So could you go into that a little bit and explain like how you structure that package, how you get them signed up on that 3-month program? Because obviously it's different from just like, yeah, sign up for 3 months. You kind of have to bundle it and sell it as a package.
Mm-hmm.
Could you just give a little insight on that?
Yeah, I mean, I created monthly subscriptions for parents just because it's cheaper, it's easier. I don't have to collect money from you every week, and you don't have to pay me every week, and we have to, recommunicate and be like, okay, how much is it? How much is it? It's automatic deduction, just like a subscription works. You know what I mean? Whether subscription to Google, there's just terms on it as far as like the length of what you're going to be charged for, so that in the beginning. And I mean, there's so many different options on the plans. I like to say it's like Burger King. You have it your way. If you want some fries and you want a burger, it's the same thing. If you want individual, I want 5 individuals, I want 5 group, so
Yeah.
creating that was just to kind of give them an option to be like, okay, well, we just want 2 and we want 7. We want 2 individuals and 7 group, and then we'll pay you for, for 3 months for that. And then it's like I said, it's a little cheaper versus they dropping in and paying, and they get benefits out of it as far as like being able to be on the calendar first. It's first come, first serve. So they get on the calendar first. I mean, there's other options that they can have as far as other, like my stand the zone class that, that we talked about briefly, that they could add to it as well. But it's easier, man. It's cheaper for them. And it's like I said, it's just less headache. You just keep track of how many times you're training, and I'll let you know when your package runs low, and it works.
Right. And that's so much different from just like buy a package of 4 sessions. Like then it's a real bundle and you get all these additional benefits with that 3-month program.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. And they started like 7 or 8 sessions. You know what I mean? So it's not just 4, because that's like a month. You can get done with that in a month. So
Right.
I start them at at 7 sessions. And like I said, if they're not on the packages, like people that are doing the trainings and stuff aren't doing packages, and then you're collecting cash all the time. So you got big knots of cash, crinkled up dollars and stuff. Like I mean, I don't take cash. You know what I mean? And if I had, like, they brought the gym, like, it's all I had, I'm like, okay, but let's, try to do something else. Just because with cash, I either spend it or lose it. But yeah, they got to be doing the subscription. I mean, it's a lot of trainers out there, man, and some are just getting their feet wet. You know what I mean? As far as how to do it, or they don't have a website or don't pay. You got to pay for marketing. You got to pay for, people that are experts in their field. And then once you get it, you can kind of let it roll, but you still might have to touch base again and do, more marketing. I mean, so it's a process, man.
Yeah. And then also with the packages, like it lets you give more value to that athlete. Like if you don't know the next time you're going to see them, and like maybe they're coming in once a month or once or twice a month, like it just doesn't, you're able to provide a better service on both ends. Like they get more out of it. It's more consistent for you. You're able to know exactly how much income you have coming in the next month, and you can make more predictable decisions. With your stay in the zone stuff, could you touch on that a little bit? Because I think that's really interesting that a lot of people overlook, where you can provide value outside of just the on-court stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the stay in the zone stuff, basically, like, we just created that, man, like to and it's really more so to help the kids. Like, it's not expensive. Like, if they want to do a stay in the zone, I just wrap it into their plan. You know what I mean? And it's basically like a one-on-one Zoom call or a phone call, just checking in with them, tri-weekly, like once every 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? If they need to hear from me more, they can. But I mean, it's caring about the kids, and outside. This is all outside of basketball. I mean, sure, we talk about basketball stuff, but it's more so like about their schoolwork or what's going on in their lives, goal setting, stuff like that, writing everything down, and then writing their goals down, and believing in their goals and how they're going to achieve those goals. Like, what's the process that you're going to do to, if you want to be a doctor, okay, well, what's the process that you're going to do to set yourself up to be a doctor? Are you going to start reading? Are you going to start looking up stuff? Like, are you starting to do some research? Like, what are the next steps, to help you do that? So just little stuff like that, man. Because sometimes, like I said, I got kids that got stuff going on, and I was a kid too. So you
Mhm.
know sometimes we don't have people in our lives to kind of be mentors, you know what I mean? And so that's kind of that is what I'm doing there with the standards on stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. And lastly, in the 2 months that we've worked together, roughly how many clients do you think that you brought on through the ads?
Whoa, man, that's hard to even gauge that, because they come from different angles. So like, it doesn't automatically have to come from, the Facebook ad. They might just call me, and say, hey, I seen this ad. So it's so hard to judge, man. But I would say um, that was more than I could count. You know what I mean? It was more than I could count. It was,
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to say.
yeah.
It's just that the
Um,
activity alone itself you know, um, was worth more than I did on all the marketing stuff. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it set me up to where, I could see, how you were doing it. And then I'm like, okay, because I had a little experience in it. So I'm like, okay, well, obviously I was spending too much. And then, okay, I see how this works. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, well, let me try it. You know what I mean? Let me try that now. So it was actually able to save me money in the long run. And
Mhm.
then also have the activity of just the ads going out, and people call in, and just getting queue time more known to people that didn't know what it was. So like I said, it was a good thing, man, and I'll definitely be reaching out to you, just questions, or even I might run it back again and be like, hey, because there's certain things that I just don't have time to do, and that I know that you know what you're doing. So
My man, I appreciate you hopping on here.
yeah, ain't nothing, man. Just, you know what I mean? Let's stay in touch, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Bet.